right. Welcome. It is February 25th, 2025, and it was 60 degrees today. No, it was 50 degrees in Chicagoland area, which felt like a heat wave. But welcome tonight. Thanks for taking about 30 minutes out of your day, out of your week to spend time with us and to just invest in your business. I'm Dawn Spencer. I think everybody knows me, and Chris Danner is there.
Hi, everyone. So
Yeah,
good to see you all. I missed so many of you guys in Rockford, but you all look like you had a great time.
we did.
Yeah,
It's a good
I
time.
loved it. I loved seeing all the pictures. So next year, I'm coming where you guys are. I missed you all greatly. So I had a great time at my world tour too, but it's not the same when you're not like with all your original girls
Yeah,
and original peoples. So
that's for sure. Though
yeah.
I was disappointed. Two different things I was disappointed about. I didn't get enough pictures with people, and I didn't know it was Sylvia's birthday.
Mm.
So she kept it from me. I was talking to her a couple times, and she never told me it was her birthday. So
She's so
happy
humble.
birthday, Sylvia. Belated.
Yep.
So yeah. All right. Did you want to say anything, Chris?
No, I'll just let some other people talk. I have a couple of things I want to share maybe towards the end, but I just want to get like
Okay.
different perspectives. We really wanted to, I think Don and I just thought it'd be fun to recap aha moments. I know that just in comparing notes, the speakers were had a little bit different feel at each world tour location. And we had Michelle was in Denver and you guys were in Rockford. I was in Norfolk. We had a lot of different people this past week in different locations. But I think the topics were all based upon the same bud, bloom, and blossom,
Yeah.
buy, host, and join, basically, with tips and tricks around that. So it'd be fun to hear some of
Yeah.
the takeaways from those who attended.
So I want to know who all here attended World Tour in one of the cities. Raise your hand. Everybody almost. Let's see.
So we had a few, we've
So
got, uh,
I know Dulce attended with us, and then Shauna. I'm not sure. Was Shauna at any of them? But good for you guys for the ones that were able to attend. I get it. Sometimes you can't attend all the things. If you weren't able to attend, that was one of the great things about doing this is that we're doing a recap. So you feel like you were part of it too. So I know, Anna, we missed you um,
I think Stephanie wasn't able to be here.
yeah. Oh yeah, Stephanie. I was trying to look over everybody's names. So,
Yeah.
and Shauna, were you there at any of them? No. So you were missed as well. Let me pull up the chat. I don't have it pulled up, so I can't see what everybody's
And
saying.
you guys are welcome to like add comments or, keep a little chat on the side too as we go and ask questions. We'll try to address questions at the end as well. We do try to keep it at 30 minutes.
Yep.
Um, Don and I can ramble, and I actually was just diagnosed with ADHD, something I knew I'd had, but I am actually clinically and I can go. I'm all over the place sometimes, so I apologize. I try to keep it on track.
Literally, we could be on the phone, her and I, and like 2 hours later, well, probably should let you go. This is how it
Yeah.
goes. But we won't do that to you guys tonight. For those that attended, who went for the first time to like a Cincy event? Was that your first Cincy event? Raise your hand. I know, I think Dulce, it might have been her first event, but she's dealing with a kiddo. But anybody else? Oh, wait, who's that raising their hand? Samantha. That was your first. Okay, cool. Anybody else?
How many new people in Rockford were there, like first timers, would you say? I know Kathy Hamilton was a first timer. She's not on tonight. Natalie was with me. She's not on here, but like I think we had a decent amount of first timers.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't honestly pay that much attention when they stood up. I didn't, so maybe somebody else did. But let's get started. We have 4 people that are planning to share, and then we can add some, maybe a few additional comments if somebody else wants to share on top of that, depending on the time. But the first one that's going to share today is Robin, and then it'll be Carrie, just so you guys know. So Robin, Carrie, Michelle, and then Kathy. And they all have said that they would be willing to share. So this is no surprise. Oh, I'm just gonna share. Oh my gosh. Don't worry. Don't you worry. All right. But you're muted, so Robin. Hmm. I think she's doing something. Ask to unmute. Is that telling me? Do you want me to do something else, Robin? Oh, there you
There.
go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just talking, waving my candy bag. All right. So first off, I brought bags of candy to pass out. And I got these butterbeer. And I think everybody that attended Chicago got to taste, but these are really good. So this is my little plug for Butterbeer Kisses. So that's how I wanted to start it. Can you shut my door? Hold on, they're looking at something. Can you shut my door? Thank you. Okay, so Rockford, I was excited because it was close. It was like less than an hour drive. So I liked that. We had a really big group. I really enjoyed getting our group together versus like Dawn sat over here and I sat over here and Chris's team sat over there. We were all like one big happy family. So I think that was one of my favorite things about it. Just coming in, like I had a different mindset. There were 4 speakers, besides home office. I would say my favorite topic was the follow-up, because that's one of my favorite things to do. And I had posted screenshots in the Just Be page about examples of using Sensi Connect. And I'll tell you, I don't use Sensi Connect. I don't. Because I'm just a pen and paper girl. I make my own flyers and I make my own samples and I send them out. But I know that I need to. And it was kind of like I needed to see somebody else using it. I needed to see what they typed as their, check in. So like they suggested 113, which is like one. Do you remember, Dawn? Was it one day? Or was it 1 week? Okay. 1 day, 1 week, and then 3 months?
3
3 weeks?
Oh, was it one?
I don't remember exactly what 113, because I'm a terrible, like in my mind, I know.
1 week.
One week, 1 month, 3 months.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Basically, they said that not to stress about the timeline, right? As long as you're doing it, if you do 222, whatever, as long as you're doing some sort of follow-up system, which I do, I just don't utilize the Connect. So that's something that I took away. I had posted her screenshots because I thought that her examples were great. The 1 day example is basically just your thank you. The 1 week then has her website. You don't want to put it in the thank you, but you have it the next time, and then the follow up. So that is what I took away. And then I actually posted her presentation because I thought it was it resonated with me. So that was one of my favorite things. From some other speakers, I'll be really quick. I did take away meet them where they're at. That was like a big one. Meet them where they're at. So basically you're meeting your teammates where they're at. Even your customers, if they're dealing with something outside of, Sensi that has taken them, where they need a break, give them grace. Don't, give them some space. Just meet them where they're at. I've kind of always led that way, but again, hearing it just kind of makes me feel like, okay, this is one of my favorite things. So, other than that, it was a good day and I really enjoyed myself. And I was exhausted, so I ended up leaving immediately because I just wanted to go home and take a nap, which I did. But I enjoyed it. I thought everything, like the topics they chose to present on, were great.
Yeah, great. I love that. I wrote down, so when we first started, I had like a page where I wrote down to do when I get home. So as people were sharing stuff, I started to write down, and the first thing I said was focus on the Connect app. So because I have it, but I don't use it.
Same. And I've been hearing people talk about it like, oh, I love it. It's great. But for me, it was always, I don't know what to say. I need like a visual to get me started. And when she had posted her slides of her examples, and there were more than one, like, thank you for coming to my booth. Thank you for being a part of Sam's Scentsy party, like just different examples for different um, places that you meet them, or, just different. It just, seeing that really kind of, that was good for me.
Yeah, agreed. Chris, can you say what you just had?
Yeah, sure. And I guess I don't want to take over or anything too. I think it's important for everyone to talk, but the speaker that we had, she was marvelous about follow-up too. But one of the things that I wrote down I thought was great is that, yeah, they focused on the 1 week, 1 month, and 3 months, but she said there's a lot of statistics out there that say when somebody orders Scentsy, especially for the first time, as soon as they get it, they're so excited about it, they are ready for more. They're going to want more, like within a week. They want to
Somebody
reorder.
else said that in ours too, actually.
Okay.
Like there will be a handful of new customers that want it immediately. So it's so important to get that first thank you in, just to show them customer service.
And I don't know, like I remember when I bought Scentsy and I was thinking about being a consultant, but I wasn't sure. And when I got my order, which by the way, it took like a month for me to get it because that was back when everything was like really new and old and everything was backwards, kind of the way we were ran as a business in a way. And I remember getting, and I couldn't wait. I'm like, I'm gonna have to have more of this. And I was like, I'm gonna sell it. Like that's how excited I was. So that really spoke to me. That was a big one. Good.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
interesting. They
great
all,
reminder.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
so,
I think the speakers, the home office were the ones that shared that with us. So maybe that was in their notes to share. I don't know. But yeah, that definitely stood out to me as well. Because I usually think, well, they don't want to be bothered. They just bought something. But hey,
me too.
doing it. Well, thank you so much, Robin, for did you have anything else to say? Okay, thank you so much for sharing. We're gonna send you a little gift in the mail for
Yeah.
your time. I appreciate it. Well, we appreciate it. The next one that's gonna speak is Carrie. So if you could just unmute yourself.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really prepare anything. I was just kind of like going through my
Oh, you're
notes.
fine.
And a lot of what Robin said was kind of things that I wanted to touch on too. So I kind of went back through and pulled some other things out so you guys are hearing different stuff. But so we went over follow-up systems, that was like a big recurring theme. Lots of different ways to follow up, but basically they said like have a system. Like what works for one is not going to work for everyone, but find a system that works for you and just do it, implement it, be consistent with it. So they had the 113. Jackie Schlotterbeck talked about a 222 system. So everybody's systems are not the same, same time frames and stuff like that. She shared actual verbiage, like Robin had said, up on the screen. So I think we all kind of took pictures of it. It's nice to have those examples of like what people are actually saying. Because a lot of times when people say, just send messages, just follow up, but then it's like, but what are you saying? Like how are you wording it? So seeing what people are actually saying kind of helps. Let's see.
20. Do you have anything so it'd give 20 back tomorrow?
Oh, she did say one thing that I thought was really cool, Jackie Schlotterbeck. Something I never really thought about before, but she said, set the expectation to your customer for your next follow-up. So they know they're gonna be hearing from you again. I think that for me, that is kind of huge because, we can sometimes feel like we're bothering people when we're following up with them, or we're coming across as too salesy, like we're just looking for the next sale. You know, but if you are reaching out to somebody to find out how they're doing, how they're liking their last order, and then you say, you know, all right, well, I'll reach out again next month and let you know what the specials are, or something like that, then they already know to expect it. So you can't really feel like you're bothering them because you already told them that you were going to reach out to them. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Mhm.
We talked about what is a Scentsy consultant, and what do you say when people ask you what you do? So there were a lot of really good answers to that. Patty Wonder said, I make everything smell better. And then that usually leads into, well, what do you mean by that? Or some other like follow-up questions. And then it gets you talking about Scentsy to people. So everybody had some really clever answers to that. But think about what you would say if somebody asked you, well, what do you do? Or, you know, what does it mean to be a Scentsy consultant? Make sure that you're prepared with an answer to answer that question.
I would love if you guys would even share in the chat, like how you would answer when people ask you, like, what do you do? Because I think it does catch a lot of us off guard. I had somebody ask me today, and I got like, it was early in the morning. I was at the gym. I was like, I was not prepared. So, and I've been doing it forever. So I know it's hard, but I think we all need to make sure we have our thing and what we want to say. So if you want to share the chat, it's helpful to all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then really just the last thing I wanted to say was, this world tour was, I thought, really, really good. I mean, I will say in years past, sometimes, you know, some of the messages can be a little bit redundant, things you've heard before. I mean, after you've been with Scentsy for a number of years, you start to kind of hear some of the same things. And maybe it's stuff that you know you should be doing, but you're just not to the point of implementing it yet, but you've heard it before, you know you need to do it. I mean, I know that there's going to always be newer consultants there that are going to get that message, and it's going to mean more to them than it would to me in the season that I'm in right now. But this world tour was really good. The dynamic on stage between the home office staff was awesome. It was fun. It was upbeat. It was energetic. They brought Kathy and Megan up on stage to do a little dance party for all of us at Rockford. That was really cool. There was giveaways. There was just, you know, good times. And I took the most notes, I think, at these two, because I went to Louisville and Rockford. I took the most notes from these world tours than I can ever remember taking at any Scentsy event. So I took a lot home with me. And I guess I would just say, if you've never been to a Scentsy event, go, just do it. Because I promise you, you need it more than you think you do. So.
Love that. Thank you so much, Carrie.
That was awesome.
And I agree with you 100%. Like, we were in the Chicago one last year, and it just, I don't know if it was the home office staff or what, but I think it's really good when there's a male and a female on stage. Like the male and female, the chemistry between the two, kind of like a brother-sister relationship type of thing, really does like help bring the fun. And like, so this one, I agree, was so much, there was so much information. It was fun. Kathy and Megan brought the fun also, and it was such a highlight to see them on stage dancing and just having a great time. Our team was such, like, our groups were so we were in the front, and we really did bring the fun, so in the house. So that was cool. Thank you for sharing, Carrie. I really appreciate it. Let's see, Michelle is next.
Okay. So we did Denver. We had 6 consultants: Tiffany Jones, Eugenia Jensen, Marilyn Scholes, Shayna Hill, which is under Robin and Yana, and Megan Good and myself all went. And this was Megan's first time. She went to SFR, and she's like, I've got to go to World Tour. So she went to World Tour with us. We all went down the night before and stayed with our spouses, and then we all went and had a big dinner the night before. So it was kind of fun to connect outside of Scentsy. It wasn't all about Scentsy. We just had dinner and had fun and laughed, and so that was a good thing. One thing for for Robin, when she says she hasn't tried the Scentsy Connect app and stuff. And then the thing Carrie said about setting the expectation on the Scentsy app, Connect app, it types you out. You can't see this. It types you out a message, and then you can go in and change it. And it says on like the typical one that if I would just hit send, this is what Scentsy wrote for me, but it'll say, I will check up with you after your products are delivered. So they know that I'm going to follow up again. And then, but you can change it. Like they gave us a ton of examples, which I'm going to use some of those when I do it. One of the things that I really liked that when they broke it down, because like they say, meet people where they're at, and you hear that, but like, what does that really mean? And so they broke it down as to, they use plant terms. So the ivy or the dahlia or the cactus or the succulent, or we did a Venus flytrap, people that just take samples but never buy anything. But I think that really helped when you break it down, because the succulent, they don't want much attention. So I don't need to send them all the stuff. They could care less. They're going to order when they're ready to order. So I think that really helped by breaking down the levels of customers or the types of customers. Because that way I don't have to think I have to send everything to everybody at one time. And I think as I sat there and listened to that, I see that in my team, because there's some people on my team that I have to baby more to get them to go along. And then there's people on my team that they join the first day and they're off on their own and they could care less if they hear from me again. So I think that really helped break down the term meet them where they're at, because you don't always know what that means unless it's broken down for you. So I think that was one of my big takeaways. And then we had the one lady that's director that talked about finding new customers, because I get that question a lot. I don't know who to talk to. I don't have any customers. And she makes up little sample packets, and she says everybody that hands her a receipt, she hands them a sample packet. So the grocery store, the gas station, fast food restaurant, anywhere she goes, she gets a receipt. She hands them a scent packet with her information in it. And that usually, she says, sparks a conversation and builds new customers that way. So I thought that was a good thing to tell some of my newer people that have been asking me, well, how do I find customers? We're actually going to get together. I think we're going to try to do it in April and do a day that we get together and make sample packs as a team. And then that way we can start handing them out and doing that type of thing.
Love that. That's that's being super intentional. And I like that she just has like, well, if I get a receipt, I give them something. Like that's just what you do. And that becomes your normal. So I love that. Thank you so much. And I loved seeing your pictures of all of you guys sitting at dinner together. Like, what a connection. Yeah.
We have a great team. I love that all of our spouses like just clicked right off the bat. And so we went back to the hotel and swam, and the guys all sat on the side of the pool and bullshitted the whole time. But they just all get along. Like it's just great. And they laugh back and forth and joke back and forth, and they've become friends on Facebook now. And so it's nice to have that. It's not just my Scentsy, like it's a Scentsy family and they're involved in it. And
yeah,
so it was a good time. We had a great time with all of our spouses and the teammates. So it was really fun.
I love that so much. Heather asked, did they say what they put into those packs?
She had some that just have like a little wax sample, or some she had like a laundry sample. She had different ones. So she says whatever she can find in the Scentsy store. Sometimes she gets a lot of stuff in closeout. So she'll put stuff in there that's in the closeout stuff, the pins and stuff where you can get your name on them or whatever. And she just has a stamp that she stamps everything. So she makes it easy. She said on her little samples that she makes, she just stamps something on the back of them with her information so that they have it.
Awesome. Anyone else have a question? Love that.
Great.
Yeah, were you going to say something, Chris?
No, I liked the part too, Michelle, about the different plant types and
Yes.
how those metaphors were similar to different customers that we deal with. Like the succulents, they don't need a lot of care.
Mm-hmm.
We have customers and they just don't need a lot of care. And so you don't have to do all the things. They'll in time be ready.
Yeah.
So that
I
was,
like the one with the Venus flytrap. That just made us all laugh because we all have those in our business that all they're there for is the free stuff and the samples, and they're never going to order from you. And so I thought that was spot on with the Venus flytrap one. Sorry, I'm coming down with a cold. So yeah, that really hit home, all those different types of customers.
Yeah. There's definitely a wide variety of customers and teamies that we have, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good to identify that. Okay, so thank you, Michelle, for sharing. I appreciate that. And the last but not least is Kathy Young. I think you're still on here. Oh, there she is.
the dancing queen.
The
Dancing
dancing
Queen.
queen.
Yeah. I showed my husband the video, so I got the full video, and yeah, he loved it. He was not surprised though at all. Anyway, so bear with me. I've got new glasses that I've been breaking in for the past couple of days. I'm old and now I have progressives. Yay. So again, follow-up is the key. That was my number one takeaway as well. It doesn't matter what system you have. It doesn't matter if it's, get a system, whether it's Sensi Connect, it's pen and paper, it's whatever system works, but you have got to find a system that works for you and you have to do it. Chris was saying, remember how like when you got your kit, how excited you were, or remember when you brought home your first Sensi, how excited you were. That's why you're a consultant, is because you fell in love with the product. And when a customer gets it for the first time, they're going to do the same thing. And that's why it's so critical that we pay attention and follow up with those customers, because you're missing out on huge sales. And I just never, I don't know, it just never clicked. A comment that was said, it takes 5 times the energy to find new customers than to just follow up with existing customers. And that's a wake-up call.
Say that again. That's really good.
It takes 5 times the energy to find new customers than to follow up with existing ones. And I've had this book. I actually went and grabbed it real quick. I've had this book and I started it, but I didn't get that far through it. And I think Heather borrowed it from me. So yeah, Heather borrowed it from me at one point. And I know that it's something that I have to read this year. It's been like, I've got a stack that I've got my stuff lined up. This is one of the things I have to read this year. Because it's so true. They already love the product. They obviously like you enough to order from you. You just have to work on getting them to keep ordering, and you can only do that through the follow-up. And I love when Carrie was talking about you're setting that expectations that you're going to be following up again. Michelle said that it shows up in your Sensi Connect thing, letting them know, hey, I'll be following up, da 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 da, because this is happening. But maybe also suggest when you're having those conversations with them, keep me in mind for any upcoming events, gift ideas, or baskets you might need. So if you can throw that in at any point, it doesn't have to be, like on the 5th time I contact them, I'm going to bring this up, but make sure you're throwing it in there somewhere just so that it's in the back of their mind. And then when you say, hey, I'm going to be following up with you in a month, they're like, oh, okay. And at some point, they're going to be like, oh, man, we've got a birthday party coming up, or we've got this or that. And then they're going to be like, maybe if you're lucky, they'll put the 2 and 2 together and be like, hey, you know what? When Kathy calls me, it should be in about another week. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to get a warmer for my sister for her birthday. So I just did it with a fundraiser and I included it in the parent letter. Make sure you're asking, because we're starting a fundraiser today down by St. Louis. That's how you meet people at different events. And then now I'm doing a fundraiser down 4 hours away because I met someone at an event I went to. And I put a fundraising packet in their hands. Those new ones I just made with like the folder that, I don't know, somebody did a video on for one of the Facebook groups. And so that's what I made and got me a fundraiser. Anyway, Chris, I think I'm ADHD too, because I'm just squirreling away from my notes. I made notes so I wouldn't do that, and I still did it anyway. So again,
I love you,
I
Kathy.
think we went over, so I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. But you should have your elevator pitch. You should be intentional with what you're saying. Someone had said, you know, like a director said, just ask everybody, have you ever thought of selling Scentsy? Yes. Great, let's chat about it. If they say, have you ever thought of selling Scentsy? And they say no, well, we should chat about it. So you already have your answer. You should already know what you're going to say. The one quote that Patty Wonder said, I sell products that make everyone and everything smell better. Well, that's going to get them to be like, what do you do? So listen more than you talk. And I talk a lot and I'm really sorry. And the last thing was to take an air purifier to businesses. I know when Chris said when she moved to a new place or when she just started selling Scentsy, she used to take warmers into local businesses and ask if she could leave the warmer there with her business card. You could put a drawing slip box, to try to get people's information and be like, "Ooh, congratulations, you won a scent circle." Everybody wins a scent circle. It's nothing special, but then you can talk them into trying to, well, you could upgrade it for a free plug-in or a free warmer of your choice if you decided to, post an online shopping link. However you wanted to word it, you could come up with and finalize it. But it'd be a great way to meet those new customers. But instead of doing the warmer, somebody said use an air purifier, especially with all the sickies and everything. And I can't believe how dirty mine gets. We've got them in our bedrooms and one in the family room, and it's holy cow. So that was it.
Good for lobby spaces. I think the Scentsy
All
Air
done.
one too. Mhm.
Yeah.
We had a question. Oh, never. Okay, Donnie answered. Never lose a customer again about the book that you wanted to read, Kathy. So
Yeah.
Barbara, that was what she
Yeah.
said.
Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman, Coleman.
Very
Thanks
good.
for having me on.
Very good, Kathy. Great takeaways. I
Yeah.
loved what you said about how it takes 5 times more energy to find new customers than to just follow up with the ones that you have. That's like a big slap in the back of the head moment. Like, hello, we all need to pay attention. So, I wanted to share just a couple quick things that I don't know whether it was shared in other world tours, but in the beginning of ours, they talked about in the industry, there's been research about the home fragrance market and the growth opportunity in the next 6 years. Right now, the home fragrance industry comprises about a $12 billion industry. And in the next 6 years, so from 2024 to 2030, they anticipate that growth to go to $20 billion. And I thought that was really profound and huge, you guys, and that's like big jumps. And we have a lot of competitors out there, so it's really up to us to grow our customer base because I know you guys see it. You can go to any store and people are sniffing candles. And I've been known to be that person to go up and introduce myself and hand people samples when they're in a candle aisle, sniffing candles and tell them that there's something better. But it really is being intentional and not being putting yourself out there to meet new people. Donna and I, when we first started, Facebook wasn't a thing. We didn't do online parties. We did in-home parties. And I know that's something that I think a lot of us kind of still do, but I think some of us have gotten away from or maybe even never tried. And I would just really encourage you. Chuck Thompson talked about how I think stereotypically we think that the younger generation is not interested, but they've done studies on research on that. And the younger generation, actually, they don't have a whole lot of money to go out, and they want to just get together in the comforts of their home and do fun little smelling candle parties. So, don't be afraid to present the opportunity. It's a fantastic way to get hosts. And it's something that I've always tried to stay connected to, but at times I've gotten away with doing those in-person parties. And whenever I go back to them, I have so much fun doing them. So, you guys, if you ever have questions about it, don't be afraid to reach out to me. Because I really think that that's a great way to get people together and bring joy into communities and really meet new customers as well. Did anyone talk about they talked about a rotating host party? Was that at anyone's? I thought that was an interesting idea. That
I
was
don't-
about,
I just said, I don't think they did, but unless I
Yeah.
missed it.
So it's kind of like, and I know this wouldn't work for everyone, but it made me think about people that I know, they don't want to host in their home because they're like, my house is too small and my kids are crazy and I have to cook and clean and I don't want to do that. But if you can set up a day in your house and let hosts pick a time slot, and you don't even have to take your Scentsy out of your home. You set up your display in your home and let your host bring her friends over to your house. And they talked about one consultant does this like once a month and gets like 2,000 PRV because she does like 2 or 3 parties in one day just by rotating people through her home. And she doesn't leave her house, but she has them bring their own beverages and they pick their 2-hour window. And she does that party. She refreshes for an hour. She does another party. It was a very cool idea. And I think it hits, if you can do it in your home, it's a very clever way to do it. And I know it may not work for everyone, but I thought that was a neat way for those of us who you don't have to drive anywhere. And you just bring them in and kick them out and bring a new group in and kick them out and wash, rinse, and repeat. So I thought that was really cool. It's
Yeah.
something that I would like to consider doing too.
They did share that one at ours. And when they were saying that, I was thinking you could almost just do like a 2-hour party with the 4 hosts and everybody show up at the same time, like an open house, and just say, who's your host? Who invited you? So then it could just be a 2-hour. You wouldn't even have to do the time slots. So that's what was going through my head when they told us that. So
I like that too, Dawn. That's a cute mix and mingle to really get. That's like, and you'd probably have like cross, like people like, oh, how do you know you're here for so and so, and they probably like would know other people at the party.
yeah,
Like, that could be
maybe.
fun too.
Tiffany said battle of the hostesses. That's like that. I like that. Well, it's 8:10, probably bedtime for some of these kiddos, people with kiddos. Well, 8:10 here, 9:10 where Chris is. And I put everybody's name in here. Are we doing 2 giveaways?
2, and then everybody, thank you so much again, Michelle, Robin, Kathy, and Carrie. Dawn and I are going to send you guys just a little treat. We thank you guys for speaking up. We appreciate you. You guys are amazing.
Oh, Carrie said, another big takeaway in regards to join conversations, challenge yourself to get 100 no's. It's impossible. Set a goal, like talk to 7 to 10 people a week. Think about how you're keeping the opportunity from your customers by not asking them. As Martha Murray said, get your ask in gear, which is hilarious because she doesn't cuss. So we were all like, oh, what's she about to say? But get your ask in gear. Like we've said it over and over and over all throughout these years, but it's so true. We've stopped asking, which is why our businesses sometimes are not growing, is because we're not asking. And I know I'm guilty of it. So let's get our ask in gear, girls. All right, so I'm gonna pick 2 winners. Let's see. We have Dulce. You're a winner, Miss Dulce. I'm saying it right? Am I saying it right? Okay. I was like, wait a minute. Did I butcher that again? And then Michelle, you're a winner. Awesome. Yay.
You can draw again since you guys are already sending me something. You can draw for somebody else on the call.
You sure?
Oh,
Mhm.
That's
so
nice.
sweet,
Since she's
Michelle.
spirit. Look at that.
Love it. So sweet.
All right. Barbara D,
Yay.
you're the winner. Yay, Barbara.
Good.
All right. You guys are
Okay.
awesome. Thank you for joining us tonight. We will have another call in. Oh, we wanted to say that Sensi is doing the Spark trainings. There's 6 of them, if I remember correctly. They are supposed to be excellent from what I've heard. I'm signing up for one, but there's 6 different ones you can sign up for. So they say they want you to go to all of them. There's only, I think, 30 spots available for each one, but they're offered all the time. So we highly encourage you all to do those Spark trainings. Has anyone done one yet?
I've done 3 of them. They're amazing. And you could like, it's just like this. So you interact with everybody. And I've gotten so many ideas and different things from doing the 3 that I've done already.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Heather
Awesome.
too. I saw you raise your hand. So, yeah, so we are really trying to do like on these calls, try to make them not super trainy because Cincy is offering that, but making it more of community and for you guys to share and for us to just be together because we can't always be together in person. So thanks for joining us and we love you guys. We're always here for you. Please reach out if you need anything. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week.
Same.
Bye,
See you all
guys.
soon. Bye. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.